everyone, it's the Psychic Sleuth, and today I'm just going to do a video on Linda, her validation. Looking back at things, I feel kind of dumb, because I actually had the location. And anyways, this is just going to be the validation. It was done today, so if you look back at Andrea Gannon, and also I think the reading 5 or 6 of Dulce, I received information on Linda prior to her going missing. The blue bonnet repeated in each of those readings, which is not only a symbol of Amish, but something that was found of hers. This is just one example of how I get information prior to someone going missing and how confusing it can be, and how the readings can interconnect, and not everything in one reading is going to match that person. This is why the person I'm trying to find. Also, Lighthouse seems to fit Linda as well, and it came in Dulce, because there's a place called Lighthouse by where she was found. I did notice that at the time I was looking at the location, actually where she ended up being found, but I am going to post a video of screenshots I have that shows, that we actually had it, but for whatever reason, I left. I don't know why I do that. I do that a lot. So anyways, continuing on. I work with a group of people on cases, and I actually told my friend Ashley, who walks me through the readings in the beginning, I wanted to stay on the tracks from where she went missing. Also, I was shown the railroad boxes. I believe this is because she was there at one time, as to why I felt that way. I also had gotten rocks strongly many times. She was buried in rocks at first. She was moved. Well, I got 2, and I can look back now and say that might be she was in 2 places. Everybody keeps saying I said that, and I don't remember, so, which she was. There is a red building by where she originally was, and something that is more of a symbol of one where she was found. And there might be more in the area you just can't see from Google Earth. In one of the readings, I remember being taken along 30, and I think 30 came in somewhere else because I remember it. And this is how I found Smoker's work. I have screenshots, like I said, that are posted in the group and that I will share with you. I have to do another video because I don't know how to add it to this. I'm not very tech savvy. How I had the location. I was matching things up in the screenshots, which I now have, which is how I have to try to find people, is by matching things up that I've seen or that I've gotten. Not really anything screams someone is here. However, I did get a headache, which I should not have dismissed, and I was exhausted afterwards. One thing I'm trying to learn is to not let things lead me away from locations. They tend to, and I don't know why. So that's just a lesson I'm trying to learn. Finding people is hard and frustrating. We do the best we can. Let's see if I can go over what we know and validate things that Linda brought through for both places. First reading, the rolling hills that I got could validate the area because there are a lot of rolling hills, as well as the fact that he did ping in the mountains. Also, a lot of that area is green, but it's also very green where she was finally found. But there is a green meadow farm not far from where she was found. Multiple meanings, remember. Things can come in that way. I was seeing now. I didn't see it before, but the horse and buggy, I believe, has to do with the Aaron and Jessica's Amish buggy rides by where she went missing and originally was. There is also a Amish country buggy rides in the area as well. The churning butter is something that they do. There may be a place in the area that does this, or it is just symbolic. I know that Queen came in Dulce. There is a road named Queen very close to here. So I got the initial J very big. This was before I was told his name. Remember, I know nothing about the case when I began reading. Just that she was an Amish girl named Linda who went missing. That is all I knew. I was shown black hair, mustache, and a beard and ethnic look. This all matched. I don't know what kind of car he had. I can't remember if that validated, but I had gotten red one and also a truck. Maybe you can tell me. I kept getting an older train car. She was originally by an old train track and then again by another train track. So that was important and why that kept coming in. Also because she was finally actually found on railroad property. This would fit. I got drinking with him, as I was told yes that he does, and I'm sure that has their thoughts and things that I got about also validate. So railroad car, dirt road, and tall grass. This can fit both areas. Dirt road can also be a path, which she was found off a path. This is where I said I keep wanting to walk down the railroad track. She was originally down the railroad track, buried from what we know. This is also where I got a reference to piled rocks. It came in with me wanting to walk down the railroad track. So the piled rocks and me wanting to walk down, I guess that's where she originally was, so it came in together. So I guess she was trying to say that that's where she originally was, but the rock pile was on top of her, which we now know. So it came in together. So she was originally placed, like I said, down the track and under pile of rocks. That's kind of blew me away, but now I'm seeing it came in together. So, another lesson. I'm starting to think I need to go back over each reading again and again and again. So, I was thinking not far from the road. Actually, where she was finally found isn't far from the road. And I said, not far from a road. A road can also be a path. But it could also, I did get path later on. So, I mean, I got both things. But they look similar in a vision. And one thing was dirt I kept seeing was always a dirt road. Tall grass and green seem to be big things. I wonder if the area she was found in has these things. I'm sure. Hard to tell on a map about the grass and all that. But I heard 20 minutes. Well, it was 17 or 12 minutes, 12 miles. When I get a number, it can be either or. So, well, it was 17 minutes, but there's also 10 miles. So that's pretty close, within 2 miles. So she was showing me one side was a creek, and if you go, you hit a railroad tracks. Going from the map, there is a creek on the backside of Dutchland, and if you keep walking forward from that creek, you hit railroad tracks. What was weird is I had just watched the show Stumptown, and that was the street by where she went missing from. I'm seeing stuff I didn't see before, and it's frustrating. I did see an old-style well as well. There is a swan wishing wells not far from where she was found either. So, second reading. I wonder if anyone can validate if this area has tall grass with yellow flowers, because that was one thing that kept coming in. However, I do know that later on yellow flowers became something big with her, as well as sunflowers. You know, I saw it put on her picture and whatnot. So that could be why. I was seeing wagon wheels. I wonder if that's symbolic for Gap Hill Farm wagons, or if it's just because that tends to be something that's around a lot in the area. I'm curious if there is a reddish wood building in the area. Maybe was a brighter red at one time. Paint sort of chipped off. I'm sure there's something like this where she was finally found, but I do know that there was a red one by where she was first. I still got an old railroad car, or mine cart, and this led me to that mine road. That does lead here. It started making me look at that mine area because it was like a mine cart. Rocks came in, which we now know was important. So I got 2. I now think she was saying 2 places. Corn husk. There is a. It looks like there's cornfields in the area, but also I got tomatoes. I don't know if they grow there, or it could be a place where they sell them, like there is a Dutch farm market down the street from where she was found, so that would make sense there. Remember symbols. So I'd be curious if there's a gate around here, because I heard gated. So horseback, there's a few farms and things in the area. I kept getting beaten down wood buildings, which is when I was in Dutchland area. I did see the woods. In the woods, there was these buildings, so it could be that. And I did take notice. It's on the screenshots. So I got the clock rhyme, hickory dickory dock. They would have passed that. I got trees, tall grass, a gate, building. It all seems to be in the area, and the large electric towers, they actually run along the railroad track where she was found, by where she was found. So the third reading. Also, I got underground railroad in Sherrill. There is a Christiana Underground Railroad in this area. It's just down the road. I was getting a church. There's a Baptist church and a Mennonite church. I believe I got both, but also I just now found out that she was actually abducted while walking to church, so the church could have multiple meanings in this. I got freeway. There's a freeway here, but this is the kicker. I also got a reference, and I'm reading this right off the third reading. I also got a reference to his work here. The reading said, I hear freeway, then his job, then leaving his job. So the leaving was after he put her there. And now that I'm reading this over, it makes sense. And I'm kicking myself saying, man, I should have went over this reading. Because I was... Yeah. Anyways. I don't know how I missed it. So, at this point, I believe she was trying to reference his job, telling us where she was. So I got the word backtrack at this time. I'm thinking now she was telling me to backtrack, like go back to the beginning. Or he did possibly backtrack, we don't know. But here I say, by the way, we are checking out his work for the last reading. I put this in the third reading. And you pass a clock tower and a white rock, and it's called Pin Rock, and it's historical. And I thought that was interesting. I facepalm at this point, because I even said it right there, I was in the area. Then I mention a trail and how small it is. She was found off a path. Talks about trees and the road hidden. This seems to fit the area. I got grass and trees. This also seems to match. I'm wondering if there are horses, like I said. Seems to be because there is a lot of farms, and that was something that kept coming in. And I said you would go behind it, and there's a creek, which there is in this area. The placement matches what I was seeing, because the creek runs behind this building and by train tracks. So the placement matches what I was getting and seeing. It just really didn't click. This is when you have to take your logical out of it, because who would have thought he would put her by his work? It kind of seems stupid, you know, but then again, people go where they're familiar. So I kept getting a reference to a bridge. There is a road called Bridge right here down the street. At this point, I got that she was hidden, so that would go with being buried or wrapped or whatever. Then I said rocks on top. She actually was at one time, and she referenced her bonnet. That was found, and that's why, and I had gotten it in so many times prior. Electric towers came in again. They do run along the railroad where she was finally found, and there was the word justice, indicating that she would be found and he would be found guilty. So I'm looking for that to happen in the future. There was a reference to a water plant or a cement plant, or maybe both, but definitely a plant. But water plant, Dutchland has huge water tanks. A huge water tank also came in Cheryl long ago. I also got a pond near. There is a pond right by where she was found. And she said pumpkin patch. There's one down the street, on the way, whatever. I got she was hidden and got things put on top of her to hide her. So both times, first time rock, second time dirt. I don't know if there is any rocks the second time, but I also heard Lancaster at this time, which fits because I guess it's Lancaster. So that matches the area by where she was, you know, the pumpkins and the pumpkin patch. I think there's one around there somewhere, someone was telling me. So she kept saying R. Now that's his middle initial. I didn't know that at the time, I'm just now realizing it. Saying the area historical, which matches the Pin Rock, and the Mennonite territory fits. I just read the article she was strangled and stabbed, so in the reading I got a reference to her being strangled, which I guess that came through before. I did get a weapon as well, which one was used. I did get summer, and I'm betting that's when justice comes. Also, this came in as a spot he knew. He obviously definitely did. Keep in mind that there are still things we don't know, and that may never know, that still could fit about what happened. Extra things from other readings. McDonald's on the quarter came in Dulce. There is one right there. The white rock that I had gotten in other readings reminded me of Pin Rock. I'll describe that in the screenshots. So when I was at Dutchland, I'll describe to you right now what I'm going to post in the screenshot. So when I was at Dutchland back last year, and I think it was September 17th, I noticed that I'd gotten a flag, I believe, in Dulce. Now remember, that's Interconnect, because that's where I also got info on Linda. That is usually, that's when we realized, because Ashley contacted me and was like, hey, I need you to work this case. I think you already got it. You got the blue bonnet in Dulce. That's what she remembered. But we didn't remember that it came in 2 times prior. So I think that there was stuff in Dulce, and we were actually using that as an interconnect. So the flag, it always reminds me of a post office or something like that. But there's one right here. Also, I got an historical rock somewhere, and I recognized that when I was looking here, and I said, before you get to his job, with an OMG face. I had screenshots of the historical landmark, the post office. I noticed the Underground Railroad that I had gotten in Cheryl was in the area, and I was saying I just can't see what it really looks like. Then I noticed the power lines along the railroad. I got a headache here, and the screenshots looking at Dutchland. I should have went back into my messages, I guess. So I noticed piles of rocks in the area, multiple meetings. I also have screenshots of tiny buildings in the area, and I noticed Zion was there. I got also. Chestnut is a road close by. It's actually on my random list, and then I said I got exhausted after that. So that right there should have told me something. Then I go back everything that I noticed, which I'm noticing more now. So during Suzanne Morphew, number 2 reading, I got Swan. They interconnect because remember, I was doing the readings at the same time. So they were missing at the same time. So that fits Linda because there's a Swan Road right there, and there's some other things that are called Swan in the area. So keep that in mind. I was working on them at the same time. Like I said, Swan Road was right by Dutchland. So this was a hard one, guys. I tried my pendulum everywhere and couldn't get a good hit. I was in the area, ignored the signs. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it didn't seem logical, which I should know by now to throw the logic out the window. And I always tell people that. So, I mean, it was all right in front of me. Sometimes I think I get focused on other things or other areas or things that people tell me or send me, and I get pulled away. Call it ADHD, but I should have went back because looking at it now, it all fit. And this tends to happen a lot. I'll get the right area. I'll be there. I'll make references to it. Then I leave, and it ends up being right. I need to figure out how I can change my way of working to notice better or to not leave where I feel strongly about or where things fit. I think because he moved her, it made it harder, but looking back, yeah, we had it. However, maybe he was supposed to lead them there to lock in the justice. Just keep that in mind. People get found when and how they are meant to. We just do what we can to help. So, I'll see you guys. I'm going to try to do a live tonight. We can talk about this if we want, as well as other things that are going on. And yeah, it's good to see you guys again. Donations are, you don't have to do it, not required, but always helpful. And I will see you guys later.